Hello, it's me, Sparky. Today I'm going to be showing you my entry to Barris's contest. Congratulations on 100, by the way. I'll also be talking more detailedly about my coloring process, but for those who need a hug, here's a hug before the video starts. The app I use is ibis paint. That's the one I usually use. The brushes I used in this drawing is the airbrush trapezoid, 40%, pen fade. It's really useful for blending. The blurring brush, I use this for the lashes, and the flat watercolor mix is for everything else. I find that the flat watercolor mix tends to be my favorite one out of all of these, and I've been using it a lot lately. So first off, I have my sketch and I color the lines, and I make a layer under the sketch for the base colors. The base colors for the skin and hair are in separate layers because I usually figure out the shading at this point. You'll see later in the video that I make a layer under the sketch for the base colors. Actually, you can see that here. And then I put in some basic shadows and lighting under, because I find it a lot more useful that way. So later on, I know where all the color is going to go. I can make a layer on top of the sketch now, and that layer will be for refining the colors, and it will look more blended. It's more like a painterly thing, and that's just my personal process. You don't have to do what I do, but I'm just sharing what I do. I'm starting to do what I just said earlier, and using an airbrush, I find the light and the dark. I put the shadows where I think they would go. Also, I forgot to mention earlier that I use a lot of low opacity brushes. I find that they look really good over time and they build up colors, and it will be easier to blend later on. This is the part where I make a layer above the sketch and start blending out what I've made under the sketch. A quick tip for you people who don't want to do line art and are more into painterly stuff, this is what I do. It may not be correct, it's just what I personally do. So if you have the sketch on a separate layer, you can turn off the sketch and look at it and see what does the sketch have, or like what does your line art layer have that your coloring layer doesn't have, and you take what your line art layer have and you put that over to your coloring layer so it doesn't look like there's anything missing. And sometimes when watching my process videos, my speed paint, you can see that often my sketch layer is turned on and off pretty frequently because that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out what the coloring layer is lacking. And to determine that, I must take off the sketch or the line art layer, and I'll compare it by flickering it on and off. What I do for the hair is I get some colors that are pretty similar to each other. For an example, in this illustration, she has light green hair, so I'll use a really bright yellow as a highlight color. But again, this is just what I do. There's no correct way. At least I don't think so. This is my personal way. A while ago, I was introduced to reflective light before. I had no idea what it was, but I thought because her surroundings is pink, I might put a bit of pink in her hair because the light looks like it's pink, therefore I'll put some pink in her hair. But pink and green are opposite colors, so it'll probably look muddy. I was okay with that, but if you're not, maybe use a lighter, like a lower opacity. I did forget to mention that I use a lot of low opacity brushes. If you can't tell, it's for me to see how the shading looks like on the skin, and later on I can blend it out more easily. And that's what I've seen through my experience. I'm just really used to lower opacity now, and I mostly do it under the sketch, as I said, during the process of me finding where the light and shadows are. I use low opacity, so on the skin base, the base color for the skin, I can just use the eyedropper tool and pick the color with the opacity turned on, if that makes sense. And I can just make it easier, and I know which color looks natural on the skin and what doesn't. So, yeah. You can add special effects to your drawings as well. I know in ibis there's a few special brushes for that. If you scroll down all the way at the brushes area, there would be like glitter brushes or pointillism brushes. You could use that, or you can use a color dodge layer to make things glow and make tiny little specks like I did. But I find that it's best if you're just having a subject there. It's best not to have the background too busy, because then they wouldn't be able to focus on the subject, you know? Anyways, this is the end of the video. If you have any questions, please put them down below. They don't have to be art related. This is the final piece, and I hope that Barry would enjoy this entry for her contest. Have a nice day wherever you are, and thank you for watching.